Here we are, the second week of November, and Joe Biden is our president-elect, but the week was still a shit show. Oh, you can always rely on 2020, people. She's nothing if not consistent. So let's look at the headlines. Yep, Trump still hasn't conceded. Wait, nope, still hasn't yet. He's like a herpes outbreak that just keeps on coming. I've got arthritis that's easier to get through than this presidency. There should be a White House bouncer from now on. He can check IDs on the way in. Well, not tonight, Jared. Your security clearance is fake. Yeah, it has been for 4 years, too. And then on January 20th, he can bounce that power-drunk orange occupier out of the place. Closing time, Donnie. Finish your McDonald's Big Mac and get the fries out of here. Wouldn't that be fun to hear and watch? Well, and of course, instead of accepting defeat gracefully, Trump has filed multiple lawsuits, election fraud in states he lost, not the states he won, or he's not arguing about any of the Senate victories the Republicans had. No. Those states held fair and just elections. However, Pennsylvania Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman said to reports about Trump's lawsuits, "The bottom line is math doesn't care about your feelings. Math doesn't care about your baseless lies and allegations. And math has made Joe Biden president-elect, and you are standing in the way of an orderly transition." Ouch, that must have stung. It's a Democrats' version of a F your feelings t-shirt. Yeah, that's what they thought about our feelings. Now, can we address the size and look of this dude? What UFC cage match did this guy win to become lieutenant governor of Pennsylvania? What was his last job? Head of security at Hooters? Well, also, you know what? The left needs more dudes who look like this. We don't have huge truck-loving muscle guys with Biden-Harris 2020 flags flying off the bed of their Dodge Ram with a pair of chrome truck ovaries hanging off their back axle. No. It's a little hard to go after liberals when they're bigger than your favorite Proud Boy. Well, it's been a hard week for Trump supporters. It's not easy when your grifter God King gets absolutely trounced in an election. 306 to 232 in the Electoral College votes. Remember 4 years ago when he considered 306 a landslide? And it's got to be difficult having to come to terms with the fake news being news. They held a million MAGA march in Washington yesterday. Saw a picture of it. I had no idea a million people could look like 500. Now, in Los Angeles, a Trump supporter filed a restraining order against his Biden-supporting neighbors for harassing him because of the election. Apparently, they wrote BLM and Biden and Harris in chalk on the sidewalk in front of his house. Talk about snowflakes. I thought these guys were polishing their AR-15s, getting ready to start a second civil war. They can't handle a little sidewalk chalk? What happens when they come across a hopscotch game? A panic attack? He asked his neighbor why they wrote it in front of his house and not their own. And they said, "Well, there's not a racist that lives in our house, you dummy." I wonder if it's possible to get a restraining order from your own stupidity. Well, moving away from the election, sort of, COVID is on the rise. Yeah, everywhere. We all know that now. But everyone is not accepting this as a problem. The Naughty and N'awlins Swingers Convention is still planning on meeting in the state of Louisiana, which is having a huge surge of COVID-19 cases. Oh, remember the good old days when the only thing to worry about at an orgy was getting a case of herpes? I mean, Thanksgiving is right around the corner, people. At least with herpes, there was no way you were going to give it to your elderly relatives. Unless Grandpa tried to slip you the tongue again. But then again, it is the South. The convention will include a 70-person pool where couples can engage in sexual activities and no face masks or social distancing. Ugh, there's not enough chlorine in the world, and it makes the job of a lifeguard sort of obsolete. Okay, let's close out with a heartwarming story for a change, okay? It takes a big heart to deliver a donated heart in La Mesa, California. Well, but apparently a helicopter carrying two doctors, the pilot, and a heart for transplant crashed on the hospital roof. All was not lost. No one was hurt. The firefighters were able to save the organ, and they gave it to a nurse. But then the nurse was traversing the hospital roof. They slipped and spilled the heart. Apparently, the heart was fine and was used for successful transplant. Happy ending. But seriously, that's a sketchy way to get a heart transplant. You probably waited a long time and paid top dollar. I'm surprised they didn't send it back. This one's a little bruised. I'm not paying for that. Can you imagine if you were in a hospital bed and heard that crash? Doctor, was that my heart? They had better not been my new heart. Is that why it's taking so long, doctor? Hey, doctor, under 30 minutes or it's free, right? Doctor? And that's this week's headlines.